Hey guys, this is Fran. Be very welcome again to MetalFran on a new video in which today I would like to introduce to all of you the second episode of one of my favorite sections of the channel, Ranked Discographies. And today the main character of the episode is no other band than Metallica. I know that Metallica is probably one of the most favorite band of many people around the world. So I am assuming many comments saying I don't agree with you, my favorite album is this, you have no idea, etc. and etc. I know, but my point with this video is just giving a couple of facts, a couple of ideas, thoughts about each album, and of course introducing to all of you my tier list about Metallica, ranking all of the albums. Again, I know that any of you has their own opinion, but I am more than glad to show to all of you what I'm thinking about, which is probably my favorite band. After saying this, I just need to say to you that you are very welcome again to MetalFran, and I really hope you are gonna enjoy this video. Kill 'Em All, where everything started. Many consider this album as one of the Metallica's 5 great masterpieces, and I have to say that I almost agree. Kill 'Em All is a unique album with its own personality and with a raw, fast and young sound that I don't think the band ever repeated. Which means nothing more than that. The album sounds like pure garage and uncontrolled rage and has mythical songs loved by all the fans like Whiplash, The Four Horsemen, and of course Seek and Destroy. Its cover was a declaration of intent and almost a premonition that Metallica were not going to leave any victims or rivals. They were here to stay. It's 1984 and Metallica releases their second album, Ride the Lightning, to the entire world. We can still see some small traces of Kill 'Em All on it, but Ride the Lightning is a step forward in Metallica's career. The songs sound better and better, and we find timeless anthems of the band like Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and Fade to Black, among others. A resounding album that astonished the world and that makes up the first part of what, in my opinion, is the triad of Metallica best albums. The cover is once again striking and recognizable for everyone, and it looks like perhaps it would be even tempting to sit in that chair with Ride the Lightning in the background as soundtrack. Master of Puppets, for many the best Metallica album and one of the best or the best thrash metal album ever. A resounding album from the start to finish. I think it's impossible to like metal and not to love Master of Puppets. Iconic songs, anthem that still sound modern and powerful, the production that was getting more and more in tune and sonorous. Master of Puppets had everything to establish itself as what it is, an absolute masterpiece of music. Of its cover, there is little to add. It's probably Metallica's most recognizable cover, reproduced millions of times and proudly worn on thousands of patches around the world. And Justice for All, in my opinion, although we will talk about this in a few minutes, is Metallica's best album, the pinnacle of their discography and the last part of their excellent thrash triad. In this album, we see Metallica's most elaborated compositions and songs that reach just another level. Besides that, it is the most aggressive one, impossible to leave you indifferent, and nowadays it keeps in time in a spectacular way. It hasn't aged at all and is still a masterpiece. Tracks like One, Blackened, and Justice for All, Harvester of Sorrow is just simply incredible, as well as its cover and artwork. Metallica at its best. With the Black Album came an undeniable change in Metallica's style and mainstream success. With this album, for many people, Metallica's discography came to an end in terms of excellency, although, of course, this is debatable. It has the two most popular songs of the band, Enter Sandman and Nothing Else Matters, and it is undeniable again that we are in front of an almost perfect album from the beginning to the end. It's not Metallica? Well, it's a new Metallica. One that went for a softer metal, almost close to hard rock at times, but that was done without an legendary album with an excellent production. Ulrich's drumming never sounded better than on this album. Load, here comes Metallica change of style towards hard rock. Thrash is left behind at the band, and they decided to tackle other styles more relaxed and much more commercial in theory. The band reaches its highest level of popularity, but also begins its musical decline, which will drag for many years and endanger the very existence of the band. About Load, I would like to say that it's underrated, in my opinion. It has the difficult mission to convince their previous fans, which was almost impossible, but seen with perspective, it's a great hard rock album with songs of undeniable quality, and that I would say all the songs are of a highest quality. The cover is not the best at all, and we could start observing a lack of effort from the band in this field. Reload was released shortly after Load, and the truth is that's the feeling it gives of being a poorly worked extension of Load, almost as if they had included the B-sides that they were discarded. It's clearly a very minor album in Metallica discography. Once again, they go for hard rock as the main style, but this time the songs are filler, with the exception maybe of the well-known and played Fuel and The Memory Remains, and for example, The Unforgiven 2 is a good song, but the rest of the album adds very, very little. A lot of people were disappointed with this album, and I think they had their reasons for that. Metallica was on the verge of separation and extinction at the time Saint Anger was released, and that probably says all about the album. Still today, more than 2 decades later, I don't think anyone knows what Metallica wanted to achieve with this album. No recognizable style, impossible to associate with thrash or hard rock, just a dirty sound, no characteristic solos from the band, a drum kit that sounds in the worst possible way, with a metal drum head that nobody ever used again. Saint Anger provoked the anger, precisely, of the fans and the loss of faith in Metallica. Many thought that the band was dead, although, luckily, they were wrong. In 2008, Metallica came back to life, and they did with a spectacular album. Thrash was back at full power, volume, and aggression. I feel that Death Magnetic is the other underrated album in Metallica's discography, when it is, almost objectively, an incredible album from the start to the finish, with elaborate, well-structured songs reminiscent of the band's best period. The cover of the album is once again made in Metallica, and a sign of intent that the band was back. It is one of my favorite Metallica albums, and I encourage you to listen again if you don't remember, because you won't be disappointed at all. We had to wait another 8 years for a new Metallica album, but at last they came back, and they did with an album, in my opinion, of great quality. Hardwire is divided in 2 parts. Half of the album is simply spectacular, at the level of the best Metallica, with songs like Hardwire, Moth into Flame, Atlas Rise, or Spirit of the Bone, that they are undeniably spectacular thrash songs, and the other half that doesn't reach that level and features just filler songs that they aren't horrible, but just don't add too much at this point. There were rumors that this would be Metallica's last album, but suddenly a couple of years ago, the band surprises the world with the release of a single and the announcement of a new album. 72 Seasons, Metallica's last albums to date. Is 72 Seasons the level of Metallica and the best they have to offer? Honestly, I have my doubts, but it's possible. Is certainly a minor album in Metallica's discography, although the effort, I suppose, to keep creating new music. This is appreciated, but again, I don't think the effort was that great. The first single, Lux Aeterna, promised a lot, but then the album gradually fizzled out. I couldn't say it's a terrible album, and it has some interesting songs like Shadows Follow, where for a few seconds you can hear something similar to thrash, but the predominant style is hard rock again, at a lower level in my opinion than in Load, when the band had more energy to display. Well, here it is. Here is my tier list of Metallica's discography. I used the same categories that I used already for Avenged Sevenfold ranked discography. You can check the video on the channel. The categories are Olympus, Amazing, and Good Effort, You Can Forget This, and Chaos and Pain. And well guys, I'm gonna start for the lower part, for Chaos and Pain, which I obviously placed Lulu, which is a album that I didn't even mention, but I got this template, so it was already here and I just placed there because I don't even consider it's a Metallica album, which unfortunately is, but hey, that never happened, just let's move on. And obviously Saint Anger needed to be here in Chaos and Pain because, as I said before, no one understood this album, or better said, you can understand in the circumstances that they were surrounding the band. It's just a terrible album, especially because of the sound of the album. The drums are just terrible. And the songs are very simple, not very elaborated. There's no guitar solos. The only good point that I may say is that some of the songs live, when they played live at that tour a bit later, they sound a bit better, okay? With a proper drum kit, with a proper, attitude, they sound a bit better, but I don't think any Metallica fan would place Saint Anger in any other category. In You Can Forget This, I placed Reload and 72 Seasons. Reload, as I said before, again, it's just, in my opinion, a bunch of B-sides from Load, with the exception of that 3 songs, Fuel, The Memory Remains, and The Are Forgiven 2, that they are good songs, so just for that I place here, but it's an album that you can forget. Doesn't represent Metallica at all, and even though I don't mind the hard rock edge from Metallica, and I appreciate Load, for example, Reload is just not enough. And it's also not enough 72 Seasons, because I was very excited when it was released. I bought the album on the first day, I listened to the album dozens of times, but now listening again with perspective, it's just an album that, well, it's okay. I mean, it's just Metallica in 2024. It's sad to say, but I don't think we can expect much more from Metallica. They are not going back to thrash, I would say. So yeah, it's what it is, guys. I don't think we can expect much more other than this. On Good Effort, we have the Garage Inc. Album, which I also didn't mention before because I just focus on studio albums by Metallica, not including this cover album, which, hey, I need to say that I love the album. I really like. Some of the covers are just amazing, very mainstream, like Whiskey in the Jar, Turn the Page. My favorite are Sabra Cadabra and Merciful Fate, are just incredible, and I love James Hetfield's voice on this album. I think he was on his prime. I really love, and it was just a mix of being savage, being wild, being more soft, but in a good way. So I really like the album, but yeah, it's just not a proper Metallica album. And about Load, I think we already said a lot. It's a just a great hard rock album. Of course, it's not Metallica, like you can, I don't know, the thing you can expect from Metallica, but hey, any other hard rock band would love to have this in their discography. I'm completely sure of that. In many other hard rock bands, Load would be in Olympus category, but for Metallica, it's just a good effort. And with Hardwire, we have what I said before. Half of the album is Olympus category, but the other half of the album is You Can Forget This. So the average of both is good effort. And with amazing category, I think this would be polemic, and I'm expecting some comments here in the video channel, because okay, I'm gonna start for Death Magnetic. In my opinion, Death Magnetic is absolutely fair to be in that category. It's an amazing album. It's just an amazing album. I don't know why it's so underrated, because of course, okay, we cannot place on the same category as Olympus albums, maybe, okay, I accept that, but hey, listen song by song, they are amazing songs, very, very aggressive, very thrashy songs, so powerful. I don't think there's any filler song. All songs are great. So yeah, I mean, amazing. I wish Metallica would stand in that way for longer. Like, I don't know, not releasing one album each decade. So yeah, I mean, Death Magnetic is just amazing. I love everything. I love the art. I love everything about them. So it's just a great, great album. Black Album. I know many people would say, no, Black Album should be in Olympus. What are you saying? Okay, in my opinion, Black Album, it is what I said before. It's an amazing album. I love it. But it's just not as great as Unjustice, Master, Ride the Lightning, or Kill 'Em All. And if I think in Metallica, my thought is, I don't know, is Master of Puppets, is Battery, is Leper Messiah, is One, Blackened, Ride the Lightning, Creeping Death. It's also Enter Sandman. Yes, but not at the same level. It's just not at the same level. I think it's maybe just my taste, but I love Black Album. Almost all the songs are great. But yeah, it's just, for me, it's not the same. It's not the same because we move now to Olympus and we have Kill 'Em All with, I mean, the rates of Kill 'Em All is just pure Metallica. Seek and Destroy is, I don't know, probably top 10 of Metallica. Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All. And Justice is my favorite album because of everything. I love everything about Unjustice for All. It's an album that every time I hear, I never get tired. Never. I always feel that same aggressiveness of the album that wants me to, I don't know, to move, to be jumping. It's just pure Metallica. And honestly, in this Olympus category, you can place the order of the albums as you want, and you will not be wrong. You will not be wrong, because I think this is just based on personal taste. In my opinion, I would place in that order: first Unjustice, second Master, third Ride the Lightning, and fourth Kill 'Em All. But hey, it's absolutely fair if you prefer as first Ride the Lightning or Master or Kill 'Em All. It's just my taste, and I am really curious to know what you think about it. Which are your preferences? Which would be your tier list? So please let me know in comments, okay? I'm very looking forward to know all of your opinions. Well guys, this has been all for today. I really hope you enjoy this new ranked discography, in this case about Metallica. And again, let me know if you agree with my tier list, if you completely disagree. Which are your favorite albums? Which are your less favorite albums? And if you think Metallica is already in decadence and you are not expecting any other great album of them, or if you are still hopeful. And yeah, just I would like to let you know that I will be making more of these ranked discographies, because it's one of the sections that I enjoy more doing. There's many bands that I would like to speak about, making this tier list, which I think is very funny to do. And yeah, you can expect more videos like this in the channel. And before leaving, I'm gonna let you know that finally in October is coming, and in October you will have more concert videos like is usually here in MetalFran. I will be going to Apocalyptica concert, also Lacuna Coil, and at the end of October, Gate Creeper. I am very excited to go to all of them, and again, you will have videos here in the channel, so I expect you to visit and let me know if you like my content. See you soon.